Have you ever met a woman who doesn't try to impress anyone, yet everyone respects her? She isn't the loudest person in the room. She doesn't chase attention or validation. Instead, she carries a quiet confidence that makes people curious. The truth is, highly intelligent women often have habits that seem strange to others, but those very habits are what separate them from the crowd. Today, we'll uncover the 10 surprising habits that reveal true intelligence and how adopting them can transform the way you think, lead, and live. One of the greatest misconceptions about intelligence is that it is measured by how quickly someone responds. In reality, true intelligence is often revealed by the ability to pause. There is incredible strength in taking a moment before speaking, especially when emotions are running high. Highly intelligent women understand that every reaction is a choice. They know that while they cannot always control what happens around them, they can always control how they respond. That simple difference changes everything. Imagine two people facing the same criticism. One immediately becomes defensive, raises her voice, and tries to prove she is right. The other listens carefully, takes a deep breath, and considers whether there is something valuable to learn. To an outsider, the second woman may appear quiet, but inside her mind, something remarkable is happening. She is evaluating the situation instead of being controlled by it. She understands that emotional control is not weakness. It is one of the highest forms of strength. Life constantly tests our patience. Someone misunderstands your intentions. A coworker takes credit for your hard work. A friend disappoints you. A stranger speaks to you with disrespect. In moments like these, your first emotional impulse might tell you to fight back immediately. But intelligent women recognize that first impulses are often driven by emotion, not wisdom. They know that decisions made in anger, frustration, or fear often become regrets later. There is an old idea that says you should never make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. That principle becomes a powerful guide for anyone seeking a better life. A few seconds of patience can prevent years of damaged relationships. One thoughtful response can build trust that lasts a lifetime. Every pause creates space between emotion and action, and in that space lies wisdom. This doesn't mean intelligent women never feel angry, hurt, or disappointed. They experience the same emotions everyone else does. The difference is that they don't allow those emotions to become their leaders. Feelings are important because they provide information, but they should never become the only reason for making decisions. Wisdom comes from listening to emotions without becoming controlled by them. Think about the leaders who inspire the most respect. They rarely panic during difficult moments. When everyone else is reacting emotionally, they remain steady. Their calm presence gives confidence to those around them. People naturally trust individuals who can remain composed under pressure because calmness communicates confidence. It says, "I believe I can handle this situation." That confidence becomes contagious. Highly intelligent women also understand the power of listening. Many people listen only long enough to prepare their next argument. Truly intelligent people listen to understand. They ask questions before making assumptions. They seek clarity before forming conclusions. This habit not only prevents unnecessary conflict, but also deepens relationships. People feel valued when they are genuinely heard, and strong relationships are built on understanding rather than constant agreement. Another reason thoughtful responses matter is because words cannot be taken back. A single sentence spoken in anger can leave scars that last for years. An apology may heal some wounds, but it cannot erase the memory of painful words. Intelligent women recognize the value of protecting both their own peace and the feelings of others. They understand that silence for a few moments is often far more powerful than saying something they will later regret. Emotional control also creates personal freedom. If every negative comment from another person determines your mood, then you have given away your power. Highly intelligent women refuse to let other people's opinions control their emotional state. They understand that confidence comes from within, not from external approval. They choose their responses based on their values rather than someone else's behavior. This habit requires practice. It doesn't happen overnight. Every challenging conversation becomes an opportunity to strengthen emotional discipline. Every disagreement becomes a chance to choose wisdom over impulse. Over time, those small choices create remarkable personal growth. Confidence becomes quieter. Decisions become clearer. Relationships become healthier. Stress becomes easier to manage because emotional stability replaces emotional chaos. Perhaps the greatest lesson is this. People may forget what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. A calm response can calm an entire room. A thoughtful conversation can solve problems that anger never could. The strongest person is not the one who wins every argument. The strongest person is the one who remains true to their character, even when life gives them every reason to lose control. That is the quiet power of true intelligence, and it is a habit that transforms not only your relationships, but also the person you become every single day. One of the habits that often surprises people about highly intelligent women is how comfortable they are spending time alone. In a world that constantly celebrates being busy, surrounded by people and always connected, choosing solitude can seem unusual. Some may even mistake it for loneliness or isolation, but there is a profound difference between being alone and feeling lonely. Intelligent women understand that solitude is not something to fear. It is something to value. It is in those quiet moments that they reconnect with themselves, reflect on their experiences, and prepare for what comes next. Many people avoid being alone because silence can be uncomfortable. Without distractions, they are left alone with their thoughts, doubts, and unanswered questions. That can feel intimidating. Yet highly intelligent women see those moments differently. Instead of escaping silence, they embrace it. They know that growth often begins where distractions end. When the noise of the world fades away, the mind finally has the opportunity to think clearly. Imagine trying to hear a whisper in the middle of a crowded concert. It would be almost impossible. Your own inner voice works the same way. If your life is constantly filled with notifications, conversations, entertainment, and endless opinions from other people, it becomes difficult to hear your own thoughts. Solitude creates space for clarity. It allows you to ask yourself important questions. What truly matters to me? Am I living according to my values? What kind of person do I want to become? These are questions that rarely receive honest answers in the middle of constant busyness. Highly intelligent women also understand that self-awareness is one of the greatest strengths a person can develop. Before they seek to understand the world, they first seek to understand themselves. They recognize their strengths without becoming arrogant, and they acknowledge their weaknesses without becoming discouraged. This level of self-awareness doesn't happen accidentally. It grows through reflection, honesty, and time spent alone. Every quiet moment becomes an opportunity to learn something new about who they are. Another reason intelligent women value solitude is because creativity often flourishes in silence. Many of history's greatest ideas were born not in crowded rooms but during moments of reflection. Whether writing in a journal, taking a walk, reading a book, or simply sitting quietly with a cup of coffee, these moments allow the mind to make connections that would otherwise remain hidden. Creativity isn't just about art or music. It is about finding better solutions, seeing opportunities others overlook, and approaching life with fresh perspectives. Being comfortable alone also protects people from making unhealthy decisions out of fear of loneliness. Many individuals remain in relationships, friendships, or environments that no longer serve them simply because they fear being alone. Intelligent women understand that peace is more valuable than constant company. They would rather spend time by themselves than surround themselves with negativity, disrespect, or relationships built on convenience instead of genuine connection. This doesn't mean they reject relationships. In fact, they often build some of the deepest and healthiest relationships because they don't depend on others to complete them. They enter friendships and partnerships as whole individuals rather than searching for someone else to fill an emotional void. That independence creates stronger bonds because those relationships are built on choice instead of need. They enjoy the presence of others without losing their own identity. There is also a quiet confidence that develops when you learn to enjoy your own company. If you constantly require approval, attention, or entertainment from others, your happiness becomes dependent on circumstances you cannot control. But when you can find joy in your own growth, your own goals, and your own journey, you become emotionally resilient. You stop chasing validation because you already know your worth. Highly intelligent women often use their alone time intentionally. They read books that expand their thinking. They develop new skills. They reflect on past experiences to understand what worked and what didn't. They plan their future with purpose instead of drifting through life without direction. While others may see them sitting quietly, their minds are actively growing. What appears to be inactivity is often one of the most productive parts of their day. Of course, solitude should never become isolation. Intelligent women understand the importance of community, meaningful conversations, and supportive relationships. They simply know when to step away from the crowd to recharge their minds and reconnect with themselves. They balance social connection with personal reflection because both are essential for a healthy and meaningful life. Perhaps the greatest lesson is this: if you cannot enjoy your own company, it becomes difficult to fully enjoy the company of others. Learning to be alone teaches you confidence, patience, gratitude, and self-respect. It reminds you that your value is not determined by how many people surround you, but by the character you build when no one is watching. In those quiet moments, away from the noise and expectations of the world, you discover something incredibly powerful. You discover yourself. And once you truly know yourself, no opinion, rejection, or challenge can easily shake the foundation of who you are. That is why solitude is not a weakness, but one of the greatest strengths an intelligent woman can possess. One of the clearest signs of a highly intelligent woman is not that she knows everything, but that she never believes she has learned enough. She understands that knowledge is not a destination, it is a lifelong journey. While many people stop growing the moment they become comfortable, she continues asking questions, exploring new ideas, and challenging her own assumptions. Her curiosity becomes one of her greatest strengths because she knows that the world is constantly changing, and the people who continue learning are the ones who continue leading. There's a common misconception that intelligence is something you are born with. While natural ability certainly exists, real wisdom is built through continuous learning. Highly intelligent women understand this. They do not rely solely on past achievements or academic qualifications to define their potential. Instead, they recognize that every day offers an opportunity to become a little wiser than they were yesterday. They approach life with the mindset of a student, always open to discovering something new. Think about the difference between someone who believes they already have all the answers and someone who is genuinely curious. The first person often resists change because admitting they don't know something feels like weakness. The second person welcomes new perspectives because they understand that every lesson makes them stronger. Intelligent women choose curiosity over ego. They are not afraid to say, "I don't know." In fact, they know those three words often become the beginning of incredible growth. Learning is not limited to classrooms or textbooks. Every conversation holds a lesson. Every challenge carries a message. Every mistake reveals an opportunity for improvement. Highly intelligent women pay attention to these everyday experiences because they understand that life itself is one of the greatest teachers. They observe people carefully. They notice patterns. They reflect on both successes and failures, asking themselves what they can do better next time. One of the reasons lifelong learning is so powerful is because it builds adaptability. The world does not stand still. Technology changes. Careers evolve. Relationships require new levels of understanding. Unexpected challenges appear without warning. Those who refuse to learn often struggle when life changes direction. But intelligent women embrace change because they have trained themselves to remain flexible. They understand that growth requires the willingness to evolve. Reading is often one of the habits that supports this mindset. Whether it's books about leadership, psychology, history, business, or personal development, intelligent women feed their minds with ideas that expand their perspective. They know that books allow them to learn from people they may never meet. A single chapter can provide wisdom that saves years of unnecessary struggle. But learning doesn't stop with reading. They also listen carefully to podcasts, attend seminars, seek mentors, and engage in meaningful conversations that challenge their thinking. Another remarkable quality is that they are willing to unlearn beliefs that no longer serve them. This can be even more difficult than learning something new. Sometimes we hold on to opinions simply because they are familiar, not because they are true. Highly intelligent women have the humility to examine their beliefs honestly. If new evidence or deeper understanding reveals a better way of thinking, they are willing to change. They know that changing your mind in light of new knowledge is not inconsistency. It is maturity. Mistakes also become valuable teachers in their lives. Instead of hiding from failure or allowing it to define them, they ask better questions. Rather than saying, "Why did this happen to me?" they ask, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" That small shift in perspective transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Every disappointment becomes an education. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to build resilience, patience, and wisdom. Highly intelligent women also surround themselves with people who inspire growth. They appreciate relationships where ideas can be exchanged openly and respectfully. They are not threatened by people who know more than they do. Instead, they see those individuals as opportunities to learn. Confidence allows them to admire excellence without feeling diminished by it. They understand that the smartest person in the room is often the one who listens the most. Curiosity also keeps life exciting. When you remain eager to learn, ordinary experiences become extraordinary opportunities. Traveling becomes more meaningful because you learn about different cultures. Conversations become richer because you seek understanding instead of simply waiting for your turn to speak. Challenges become less frightening because you trust your ability to figure things out along the way. Learning transforms the world into a place filled with endless possibilities. Perhaps the most important lesson is this: education may end, but learning should never stop. Degrees can open doors, but curiosity keeps those doors open. Titles may earn respect, but wisdom earns trust. Highly intelligent women know that their greatest investment is not in possessions or status. It is in the continuous development of their minds and character. Every book they read, every lesson they embrace, every mistake they learn from, and every question they dare to ask shapes the person they are becoming. They understand that the moment you believe you have nothing left to learn is the moment you stop growing. But the moment you choose to remain curious, humble, and teachable, you unlock a lifetime of possibilities that no one can ever take away. One of the most misunderstood habits of highly intelligent women is their ability to protect their energy by setting clear and healthy boundaries. To some people, this may appear distant, selective, or even unfriendly. But in reality, it is an act of wisdom and self-respect. Intelligent women understand that time, attention, and emotional energy are among the most valuable resources they possess. Unlike money, once a day has passed or emotional energy has been drained, it cannot be fully recovered. That is why they are intentional about where they invest themselves. Many people grow up believing that saying yes to everyone is the kindest thing they can do. They feel guilty when they decline invitations, refuse requests, or choose their own needs over someone else's expectations. Over time, this constant people-pleasing becomes exhausting. They give and give until there is nothing left for themselves. Highly intelligent women recognize this pattern early. They understand that constantly sacrificing their own well-being does not make them compassionate, it makes them emotionally exhausted. True kindness should never require abandoning yourself. Think of your energy like the battery on your phone. If dozens of applications are running all day without being managed, the battery quickly drains. Your mind works in much the same way. Every unnecessary conflict, every toxic conversation, every unhealthy relationship, and every commitment you accept without careful thought consumes a little more of your emotional energy. Eventually, you find yourself overwhelmed, distracted, and unable to focus on what truly matters. Intelligent women know that protecting their energy allows them to give their best where it matters most. One of the strongest boundaries they develop is learning the power of saying no. This simple word can feel uncomfortable at first because many people fear disappointing others. Yet highly intelligent women understand that every time they say yes to something that does not align with their priorities, they are saying no to something that does. Saying no to unnecessary obligations often means saying yes to personal growth, meaningful relationships, rest, health, and purpose. This does not mean they refuse to help others. On the contrary, they are often generous, supportive, and compassionate. The difference is that their generosity comes from a place of choice rather than pressure. They help because they genuinely want to, not because they fear rejection or criticism. There is a significant difference between serving others out of love and serving others out of guilt. Intelligent women understand that healthy relationships respect both giving and receiving. Another important boundary they establish involves the people they allow into their lives. They know that not everyone deserves unlimited access to their thoughts, emotions, or personal space. Some individuals inspire growth, encourage dreams, and bring peace into your life. Others constantly create drama, negativity, or emotional chaos. Highly intelligent women pay close attention to these patterns. They choose relationships that are built on trust, honesty, mutual respect, and encouragement rather than manipulation, jealousy, or constant conflict. They also recognize that protecting their peace sometimes requires walking away. Walking away from unhealthy friendships. Walking away from disrespectful environments. Walking away from opportunities that compromise their values. This is not an act of weakness or avoidance. It is an act of courage. It takes tremendous confidence to leave situations that no longer support your growth, especially when others expect you to stay. Intelligent women understand that holding on to what harms you simply because it is familiar will never lead to the life you truly desire. Boundaries are equally important in the workplace and personal ambitions. Intelligent women know they cannot do everything at once. They prioritize tasks that align with their goals and avoid becoming overwhelmed by unnecessary distractions. They understand that productivity is not measured by how busy you appear, by how intentionally you use your time. Instead of constantly reacting to every demand, they focus on what creates meaningful progress. Protecting energy also means making space for rest. Many people mistakenly believe that constant activity is a sign of success. But intelligent women understand that even the strongest minds require recovery. They value sleep, quiet reflection, exercise, and moments of stillness because they know these habits restore both mental clarity and emotional resilience. Rest is not laziness, it is preparation. A well-rested mind makes better decisions, solves problems more effectively, and responds to challenges with greater patience. Perhaps the most powerful boundary they establish is the one within themselves. They refuse to allow other people's opinions to define their worth. They understand that criticism will always exist, just as praise will always come and go. If they base their confidence on external approval, their happiness will constantly rise and fall depending on someone else's words. Instead, they build their self-worth on their values, character, and integrity. This inner boundary protects them from unnecessary emotional turbulence. The truth is that every meaningful life requires difficult choices. You cannot say yes to everything without eventually saying no to yourself. Highly intelligent women understand that protecting their energy is not about shutting people out. It is about making room for the people, experiences, and opportunities that truly deserve their attention. They know that boundaries are not walls built to keep love away. They are doors with locks, allowing them to choose carefully who and what they allow into their lives. When you value your time, your peace, and your emotional well-being, others begin to value them too. And that is one of the quietest yet most powerful signs of true intelligence. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort. They seek the easiest path, the safest decision, and the most familiar routine because it feels secure. But highly intelligent women understand a powerful truth that changes everything. Growth and comfort rarely exist in the same place. If you always choose what feels easy, you may protect yourself from temporary fear, but you also limit your potential. The women who become stronger, wiser, and more successful are not the ones who avoid challenges. They are the ones who learn to face them with courage. Think about every meaningful achievement in life. Learning a new skill feels awkward at first. Starting a business is uncertain. Speaking in front of an audience is nerve-wracking. Ending an unhealthy relationship is heartbreaking. Moving to a new city is intimidating. Pursuing a dream often means stepping into the unknown. None of these experiences are comfortable, yet they are often the moments that shape a person's character. Highly intelligent women don't expect growth to feel easy. They expect it to require effort, patience, and resilience. This doesn't mean they never feel afraid. Fear is a natural human emotion, and intelligence does not eliminate it. The difference is that they refuse to let fear become the decision maker. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to move forward despite it. Every time they take a step outside their comfort zone, they prove to themselves that they are capable of more than they once believed. One of the greatest traps in life is becoming too comfortable. Comfort can quietly become a prison. You wake up, follow the same routine, think the same thoughts, and avoid anything that might challenge your abilities. At first, this feels safe, but over time, something begins to fade. Curiosity disappears, confidence weakens, dreams become smaller. Before long, you realize that while your life has become predictable, it has also stopped growing. Highly intelligent women recognize this danger. They intentionally seek opportunities that stretch their abilities. They read books that challenge their thinking instead of simply confirming what they already believe. They take on projects that require new skills. They welcome constructive feedback because they know improvement begins with honesty. They surround themselves with people who inspire them to become better rather than people who encourage them to stay the same failure is another form of discomfort that many people desperately try to avoid. Society often teaches us that failure is something to be ashamed of, but intelligent women see it differently. They understand that every successful person has experienced setbacks, disappointments, and mistakes. The difference is not that successful people fail less. The difference is that they learn more from each failure. Instead of asking, "Why did I fail?" they ask, "What can this teach me?" That simple question transforms every setback into a lesson instead of a defeat. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. No one expects to balance perfectly on the first attempt. Falling is part of learning. Yet as adults, we often expect ourselves to succeed immediately in every new challenge. When we don't, we become discouraged and give up. Highly intelligent women reject this mindset. They understand that mastery requires patience. Every mistake is simply evidence that they are trying something worthwhile. Discomfort also builds emotional resilience. Life will inevitably bring disappointment, criticism, uncertainty, and unexpected change. These experiences cannot be avoided forever. But every challenge you overcome strengthens your ability to face the next one. It's much like exercising a muscle. Resistance may feel uncomfortable, but without resistance, there is no growth. The mind develops resilience in the same way. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to become mentally stronger. Another remarkable quality of intelligent women is their willingness to adapt. They understand that change is one of life's only guarantees. Instead of resisting it, they prepare for it. They remain flexible because they know that success often belongs to those who can adjust without losing sight of their values. Whether facing career changes, personal setbacks, or unexpected opportunities, they choose adaptability over stubbornness. They understand that surviving and thriving often depend on the ability to evolve. Perhaps one of the hardest forms of discomfort is the discomfort of self-improvement. It requires admitting weaknesses, changing habits, accepting feedback, and letting go of excuses. This process can challenge the ego, but highly intelligent women know that personal growth begins where pride ends. They are willing to confront uncomfortable truths because they value progress more than protecting their image. They understand that becoming the best version of themselves requires honesty, discipline, and humility. Every challenge they face becomes part of their story. Every difficult conversation strengthens their communication skills. Every rejection teaches persistence. Every obstacle develops patience. Every uncertain step builds confidence. Over time, these experiences shape a woman who is not easily shaken by life's difficulties because she has already proven to herself that she can overcome them. The truth is that comfort may feel pleasant today, but courage creates a better tomorrow. Highly intelligent women understand that every dream worth pursuing will ask something of them. It will ask for persistence when motivation fades, confidence when doubt appears, and resilience when failure seems overwhelming. They accept these moments not as signs that they should stop, but as proof that they are growing. In the end, life does not reward those who wait until everything feels easy. It rewards those who continue moving forward even when the path is uncertain. Every moment of discomfort carries the possibility of transformation. Every challenge hides a lesson. Every fear contains an opportunity to become stronger than you were yesterday. That is why highly intelligent women do not run from discomfort. They embrace it, knowing that on the other side of every challenge is a wiser, stronger, and more confident version of themselves. One of the most remarkable qualities of highly intelligent women is that they refuse to let the world define what success should look like. In a society filled with constant comparisons, endless opinions, and unrealistic expectations, it is easy to believe that your value depends on how much money you earn, how many followers you have, or how much attention you receive. But truly intelligent women understand that success is deeply personal. They know that a meaningful life is not built by copying someone else's path, but by discovering and following their own purpose. Every day, people are surrounded by images of what society calls success. Expensive lifestyles, perfect appearances, impressive job titles and public recognition are often presented as the ultimate goals. While there is nothing wrong with achieving these things, intelligent women know that external achievements alone cannot create lasting fulfillment. A person can have wealth without peace, popularity without genuine friendships, and recognition without happiness. That is why they focus first on building a life that feels meaningful from the inside rather than simply looking impressive on the outside. One of the greatest dangers of comparison is that it distracts you from your own journey. When you constantly measure your progress against someone else's accomplishments, you begin to lose sight of your own growth. There will always be someone who appears more successful, more talented, or further ahead. If comparison becomes your habit, satisfaction will always remain out of reach. Highly intelligent women understand this truth. Instead of asking, "Why am I not where they are?" they ask, "Am I becoming better than I was yesterday?" That simple shift changes everything because it places the focus back on personal growth rather than competition. Defining success on your own terms also requires courage. It means being willing to disappoint people who expect you to live according to their standards. Family members may have one vision for your future. Friends may encourage you to follow popular trends. Society may pressure you to chase status, wealth, or approval. But intelligent women understand that living someone else's dream will never bring lasting happiness. They are willing to make difficult choices because they know that authenticity is far more valuable than acceptance. Purpose becomes their greatest source of motivation. They are not driven solely by applause or recognition. Instead, they ask deeper questions. What impact do I want to make? What kind of person do I want to become? How can I use my strengths to improve the lives of others? These questions guide their decisions because they understand that success without purpose often feels empty. Purpose gives direction during difficult seasons and provides strength when motivation begins to fade. Another powerful habit is celebrating progress instead of chasing perfection. Many people postpone happiness until they reach a certain milestone. They believe they will finally feel successful once they receive a promotion, achieve a financial goal, or earn public recognition. But highly intelligent women understand that life is made up of countless small victories. Every lesson learned, every fear overcome, every healthy habit